What is going on, everybody? We're here and we are live for Geeks and Gamers Daily. And apparently, last minute replacement, Epic Mike is here to join us this morning. What's up, Mike?
Hey, how's it going, man? Yeah, Jeremy decided to he messaged me earlier than 10:48 to ask me to come on daily. So we are farther ahead right now than we ever have been as far as the invites are going. So
We're big into planning here at Geeks and Gamers. We're all about planning.
yeah,
right?
Planning, organization, we always have our ducks in a row here, we're always ready to go. I always know what's going on. I'm never surprised last minute by things, it's always a good time. So I'm sure you of all people can attest to how wonderful it is to always know what the plan is, never be informed last minute that you're doing a thing that you didn't know you were doing. Probably, good time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Listen, Mike, you sound very chipper this morning. You sound like you're refreshed. You sound like you're energized, like you got a ton of sleep. You sound great.
Yeah, man. I'm moisturized, unbothered, in my lane. I'm certainly not running on less than an hour of sleep right now. That would be crazy. Yeah. That would sound like an irresponsible person to be running on less than an hour of sleep right now,
Yeah, that's all right. But we're going to be energized at least for an hour. Then Mike can sleep. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can change his smoke detector, whatever you guys do during the day.
That's not happening.
Probably not that.
Yeah.
But we do have a couple super chats to get to already. Andre CR, let me know. If not, the gloves come off because you sure ain't hot. It needs work like a car in a wreck. They call me MC Hammer. Yeah, earn my respect. Oh, here comes the MC Hammer. Thank you, Andre.
Did you hear about Beardo's Mick Hammer issue last night?
Did you see MC Hammer and pronounce it like it was a hamburger Happy Meal or something?
Yeah, he was reading Biggie lyrics. I got what is it, 10 Mac 11s or whatever, or 11 Mac 11s, whatever and stuff, and he's reading those lyrics as white as can be, and then he gets to that and he goes, yeah, he called him Mick Hammer.
Mick Hammer.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know who that is. I'm like, bro, even if you're like,
you don't know who MC Hammer is?
Yeah, I'm like, even if you were just white as white can be, everybody knows who MC Hammer is. It's like saying you don't know who Vanilla Ice is. It's like, yeah, you do. Like,
God damn, that's rough. Somebody said something about Al Bundy the other day, and you know how in fuck with this shit, L's look like eyes.
Yes.
And I thought it said AI Bundy. That was pretty embarrassing.
But like, at least you got there's like a reasoning for it. Like, yeah. I mean, Mick Hammer, bro. I was like, what? Oh my God.
Mick Hammer. Do. Can't touch this.
Shit.
Fuck, man. Daredevil Born Again trailer has been released. I saw a sneak peek. I don't know if there's a full trailer. I saw about a 20-second tease. Is there anything more than that's been released? Because we were actually taking a little look at it today.
Yeah. I haven't seen anything more than just the little teaser, so.
Magnum Norse for 10. I don't know who to insult. Any retard could show up. You're not wrong. That is the thing about this show. Anyone could be here on any given day. Yep. Magnum Norse for 5. Either way, I agree with Jay. Well, there it is. Mick Hammer for 2. Damn it, Beardo.
Damn.
I might pronounce that Mike Hammer, to be honest.
Yeah, I might,
Richard Waring, wait, so Jeremy will call you last minute, but not let you on his election day stream?
Yeah, it's a real weird thing we got going on here. It's a weird dynamic, Yeah. Jeremy was like, oh, this election day stream, it's gonna be big. I'm gonna have a lot of people on my stream. A lot of people. He starts listing names. I'm like, I haven't heard anything about this. I didn't even know it was a thing happening, so I guess I'm not on it. It's a good time. Or I'll get a message at like 2 a.m. Hey, can you be on my election stream?
Oh, yeah, I'm dying here. I need somebody to hold the fort. Like, as he's up till 7 in the morning because we still don't know the results. Smegheads for Aussie 5, 2.5K subs and you quit, Ryan. So yeah, I believe that whole fucking Jeremy has not talked to me privately about this at all, by the way. It's literally just all been public shit. He's never once mentioned it to me. So he doesn't even have like the answer for me that, yeah, I'll do it if we get to this. He doesn't have that. but he is throwing out there that if we reach 2,500 paid locals members or supporters, that he wants to send me and Jay to a furry convention. That might be the last. That might be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and you'll no longer see me on here anymore. That's yet to be determined. Blue Shell, draw 4, member for 17 months. Ryan, I'm sorry, Jeremy's trying to make you go to a grotesque furry con. Hopefully you just don't go regardless, even if the milestone is reached. Yeah, I don't think like he really understands the position he's putting me in. Like I might end up in jail, like legitimately for crimes if I get sent there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be fun for me. James Daniel for 5. Good morning, Figs. Just finished episode 2 of Art of the Surge. I'm in tears, so emotional. Please check it out. Art of the Surge. Yeah, I was watching The Haunting of Hill House last night, and I had really fucked up dreams because of it. So that was probably a mistake. But what are you going to do? Shaka Zulu. Remember, for 30 months, I'll take 2 double McHammers with an extra corn. Don't fuck up my order, Ryan. Thanks, Shaka Zulu. And I agree with Jay because Ryan likes the pick. Was that always the pick of Jay like that? Was it, or was it ever a different picture of Jay like that? I don't quite remember. But I do remember like either. Picture.
That is good.
Jay is Superman.
Yeah.
Happens to be pasted on top of a Down syndrome person. But that has nothing to do with why I think it's funny.
Superman. Yeah.
B. Barrett, I'm flying out to Arizona to visit family. In my case, I end up on a DEI flight. I want my last words to be Jeremy is gay and retarded. Ronan for $1. Never a dull moment when Savvy is on G&G Daily. Ryan would be proud of her racism. Ha. Yeah, I'm sure. I missed it, but yeah, I'm sure I would be. Should we talk about this Daredevil thing? This is what I saw. This is the only thing that I've seen so far. And it was like about a little 20-minute teaser. But we did get the first little glimpse at Daredevil, born again, reborn, born again, entire thing scrapped and made from the bottom up. And it's right here, Daredevil updates. Let's watch this.
Yeah.
It's been some time, hasn't it? You've come up in the world.
I could say the same about you.
I wonder if your darker half would agree. Exactly what kind of a lawyer are you? A really good one.
Yeah. That's it. That's all you get.
Yep.
That's all we get from Daredevil, at least what they posted. I don't know if there's any more than that, but
there's not more than that. There's a little bit. It's broke down into like a full trailer, but it's not just Daredevil. They put in, Ironheart. They put in Marvel Zombies. They put in the last season of like What If.
Got it. Okay, all the things that they're gonna be putting out in the next year or whatever. So
yes,
here's the thing. I think Daredevil on Netflix is one of the best comic book, the best comic book live action thing. One of the best things we've ever seen. Movies, television, streaming, regardless, it's up there with the best of the best. It was that fucking good.
Yes, and
obviously, I think people still really like the character. The idea of Punisher coming back, all this shit. And everything in this trailer looks perfectly fine. Fight scenes from whatever. But the problem is kind of how these two characters have already been treated in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes. What we saw happen with Kingpin in Hawkeye and in Echo, the way we saw Daredevil's appearance in She-Hulk, which was kind of a total and complete disaster. I feel like to be able to enjoy this, you're going to have to completely forget about all that shit and separate that. And I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I do think a lot of people are going to be invested in this because it is so reminiscent of the Daredevil show that we loved so much.
Yep. And I think that is definitely what they're going for. There's another thing, though, that nobody's talking about because it is very briefly seen in the trailer, the full trailer, not just the Daredevil snippet that they posted. And if you don't mind me sharing this, I'm going to show this because
go for it.
I've seen nobody talking about this, and this is what concerns me. This shot right here of Kingpin addressing what looks like somebody with a little, American flag lapel pin. Um, looks looks very reminiscent of a certain person, running for president right now.
Well, I believe that the storyline, if you remember, the storyline is going to be he becomes mayor, right? Like that.
Mhm.
That's what's happening, right? That's the point of this. So,
Yes.
I don't know if they're just because we see a person who's a villain in a part of political power. I don't know if you can immediately be like, wow, they're trying to make a Trump comparison. We did know he was going to attempt to become mayor. So,
And
mayor of New
I'm
York. I don't know what I said, if I said a different city, but yeah, mayor of New York.
yeah, and I'm all about that if that's the storyline, and if they want to stay apolitical and they just want to run an awesome storyline. My concern is just that because of what we've seen lately, and because of where we are right now in the country, that they're not going to just say, "Hey, what if we make, you know, Kingpin basically look just like Trump? And what if we basically draw those comparisons to this corrupt guy trying to take over the city and manipulate everyone around him and stuff?" Because one thing we've seen from these writers is that they're not really like mega creative. They kind of only write what they see in the world. And so my concern is that is going to be the thing that they go for, is trying to make him some kind of Trump allegory and stuff. They avoid that and they go with an actual writing that we've gotten from Daredevil before. I'm all for it. So
Yeah, I feel like that one little shot is not enough to make me be like, oh, look at what they're doing. Now,
yeah.
if we see a line in a subsequent trailer where Kingpin's like, I do not accept the results of this election, something like that is like, okay. But no, I don't see it from just that that small little one right there. But who knows? Maybe it's something you can look out for sure. But
Yeah.
they did also announce essentially their entire slate
Yeah, they did.
for 2025. And remember when they're like, hey, we're going to be about quality more than quantity. That's what we're about. Well, get ready, because almost every month of the year, you're going to have a fucking Marvel something being released. Marvel Studios 2025 slate. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, obviously animated. Captain America Brave New World, Valentine's Day. Daredevil Born Again, March 4th. Thunderbolts, May 2nd. And I believe Thunderbolts is officially going to mark the end of phase 5 of the MCU. I believe that's essentially what they said. I don't know where Ironheart fits in. If Ironheart is phase 5 or phase 6, I believe phase 6 officially kicks off with Fantastic Four, but maybe they just meant for movies, Thunderbolts. But Ironheart, the long-awaited Ironheart series that has been done filming for like 4 years at this point, finally going to see the light of day. Fantastic Four First Steps. That is going to be a very important movie for them.
Yeah, 100%.
A super important movie. Eyes of Wakanda, I don't care about it. Marvel Zombies, also don't particularly care about it. At least they're releasing that in October. That makes sense. And then Wonderman, which I forgot was in production and has been in production for forever.
Yeah.
Forever. The race swapped Wonderman series. Like these two series right here have been in production for forever.
Yeah.
And the fact that we hadn't seen them yet probably means that they're complete and total dog shit.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, I mean, the fact that they brought back Trevor Slattery for Wonder Man, like, who was really chomping at the bit for that character to come back and do something in the MCU? So yeah, I don't know, man.
Like, to me, the things that are most important, Fantastic Four is huge, and how that is received is going to mean a lot, I think, for the health of the Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward. I do think we see Robert Downey Jr. in a small, tiny little appearance to introduce him in this universe, in this movie. That's why I think this happens. And then Daredevil, I think that is important because that's something that is like really beloved by a lot of people, and people are going to be extremely critical of anything they do. So that is a very important release for them as well. A lot of these other things, I think that's going to be shit. I think this is going to be shit. Animated things don't matter. Don't care. Captain America Brave New World, that's going to fucking flop. And I have no idea what to expect from Thunderbolts.
I don't either. I wouldn't be surprised to see Thunderbolts be like a mild success just because of who's in it and the vibe that it's giving off. But that's of all of this, Daredevil, like you said, Fantastic Four, it's like it's gonna be hit or miss. I don't know that there's gonna be an in between with that. And yeah, the Wonder Man thing makes no sense to me because like for a lot of people, they don't even know who Wonder Man is, and for people that do, Wonder Man is like incredibly powerful. Like he's like Thor level powerful in the comic books. So him being here and being in this, my guess is they're not going to do that. My guess is going to be some kind of I don't know. Who knows? We might not even get powers. It might just all be a TV show for him, and it might not ever become anything because it's Marvel and they just do whatever they want with these characters nowadays. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So get ready for more Marvel in 2025.
Yeah.
And the start of phase 6, bro. Phase 5, phase 4 and phase 5, pretty big stinkers for the old MCU.
Yeah.
Magnum Norse for 10 mics on your podcast. It's already a furry convention.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I think they're just saying I have a lot of hair. I think they meant like furry, like hair, but
I thought they meant you had a fursona or something.
I'm not. No, fuck that. I'm not a furry.
Stephen De Leon for 5. Notre Dame rules. Mike is trash at Call of Duty. All fuck you, Ryan.
There's no need for any of that energy this morning. Listen, our country's going through a really hard time right now. All right.
I am very excited for the election to be over.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it because I fucking get so tired of political campaign ads on everything I fucking see. Dude, I am ready. I did not vote early. I'm voting on Tuesday. Voting on the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November. But shout out to everybody that did go and get out that early vote. Very important. But
yeah,
I think I'll be okay. My voting station is never very busy. I'm sure it's going to be busier than it was last year, this year, because there's just so much hype and shit going on. But I'm not too worried. So
yeah,
I ain't gonna have to stay in line for 3 hours or anything like that.
Yeah, don't want to do that.
Tobias, I nearly missed daily. It wasn't showing up on my feed, and apparently I was being mentioned on Cobra Cast. To be fair, I haven't been to a con myself, but I mostly want to go talk to artists and writers. I had zero desire to go to a convention of degenerates and weirdos and freaks. And to me, that's what furries are. No offense intended, Tobias. I'm sure there's outliers, but I think that I think the overlap between furdom and mental illness, I feel like that Venn diagram's looking pretty damn close to a perfect circle. You know what I mean? So just like a higher chance. That's all I'm saying. But no offense intended. I don't know if anything happened on Cobra Cast though. Burb shit for 2. Don't end up kidnapped and violated by the furries. That's not happening. Whatever furry convention we go to, I'm gonna make sure that shit is in a state that has reciprocal concealed carry with Florida. So I'll be solid. I'll be solid.
Yeah.
Firewalk's closer. Hold on. Firewalk's closer. Gonna make that secret level episode even more awkward now. Oh yeah, that fucking thing that they're doing where Concord was still gonna be part of that.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
no.
fucking rough. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. Obviously, that news came out yesterday. I'm sure you guys talked a little bit about it on Tuesday night's main event. But yeah, the closing, the shuttering of Concord is pretty funny. Or Firewalk Studios because of Concord.
Yeah.
Jason Yankovic for 5. How would you say? Would you say Yankovic or would you say Yankovic?
Yankovic? I don't know. Yankovic sounds more classy.
Yankovic sounds like how you're probably supposed to say it. I would say if I just read that and I was going through a chart and I was reading that for students on roll call, Yankovic.
Yeah.
Probably what I'd say.
Yeah.
The president of EA said, Dragon Age, the Veilguard, is a return to what made Bioware great. It's not cynical to doubt him. It is experience. Well, Bioware's already doing some big-time damage control for all the stuff that's going on with Dragon Age, the Veilguard, even with things that aren't Veilguard properties. So we're going to talk about that a little bit today. Magnum Norse, Tobias never misses a hold of fist. He's a goddamn furry. There you go.
Got your fist in holes, Tobias? Please don't.
Tobias 5, is it a Trump allegory or is it just a common trope of villains trying to take political power to further their own goals like Lex has well before? Yeah, and that's why like we've seen these things in comic book storylines over and over and over again. It's nothing really new. And that's why like that one frame doesn't like that's not what I jump to, but I can see why people are like with everything we've seen, got to look out for stuff like that.
Yeah.
Magnum Norse for 10, it puts the lotion on its skin or else it gets the hose again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Magnum Norse. You know, I watched Red Dragon the other day, and I forgot how much I fucking liked that movie. Yeah, the Hannibal one.
Yeah.
Like, I like it a lot. I might actually like it more than Silence of the Lambs, to be honest with you.
Really?
I really like Red Dragon. I know that's maybe not the most popular opinion. But.
I mean, dude, Anthony Hopkins is a master as Hannibal Lecter. He kind of elevates everything he's in, so that doesn't surprise me.
And who's the isn't
Ralph Fiennes?
Ray Fiennes is the villain in that, right? Yeah, I think he plays the villain. He's fucking good in it too.
Yeah.
Stay at home hippo for 5. A set rigger died working on Wonderman before a single thing was filmed. Also, Wonderman is a D tier hero. No one knows him. Also, race swap. Yeah. Wonderman, even like the image that they put out with it just looks like a random black guy. Like they snapped a picture of him walking out of his house or something.
Yeah, they'll let that work. Also, just as like a little side thing, anytime you have a production where somebody has died on set or been severely injured on set, it is a massive red flag for the entire production. I mean, accidents do happen on set all the time. It does happen, but typically when somebody gets injured on a movie set like that or dies on a movie set, it's often the result of somebody doing something very careless. You know, if a stuntman dies, stuntman gets severely injured, it's like that's kind of expected. But for like a rigger, for a key grip, anybody like that to get injured or die on set, usually is a red flag that they were trying to either rush production or somebody that was in charge wasn't taking care of business. And that's kind of already a red flag to that whole thing. So, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like if it happens to a rigger, it very well could be like their fault. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what happened. I do remember that report. It's from a long time ago because Wonder Man's been in production a long ass time. Yeah, I do remember that happening.
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna haunt the entire cast.
Maybe. Yeah.
After all that happened, who knows? Sinister mustache for 5. Wasn't Nathan Fillion cast as Simon Williams already in the MCU? I remember some fake movie posters for a Stark biopic or something, maybe from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I don't know if I don't know if he was Simon Williams. I know he played a role in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, right?
Oh, so yeah, but there was actually he was on a fake poster that they deleted. They've gotten rid of, but yeah, they had a fake poster where the character Simon Williams was in a movie that was supposed to be like a parody of. Let me just pull up the thing here. It's supposed to be a parody of Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, well, if you remember, like in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie specifically, we've had a couple of like false starts when it comes to like cameos and shit like that.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Simon Williams.
Yep.
Yeah, so you're right. You're right there, Sinister Mustache. If you remember, what was the tease at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 1 in the post-credit sequence?
I don't actually remember. It's been so long since I've seen the first one.
In the end, when you saw like the collector's thing all fucked up, that cocoon was like broken. Right. And so that was an Adam Warlock thing. Yeah. And then literally that was the tease in the fucking next one.
Yeah.
Like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, then they're like, oh, wait, no, this time it's Adam Warlock in this big golden cocoon, we promise. So there have been a couple little Easter eggs and stuff like that happened in these Guardians movies that they ended up not going with or taking a different direction.
Yeah. So wild, dude.
Magnum Norse for 10. Didn't you know Kamala will lower your taxes? YouTube won't censor this.
Yeah.
Stephen De Leon for 2. Hashtag Bills Mafia. Shout out West Texas. Those are two very weird things to put in the same sentence, to be honest.
Yeah. A little bit.
Howard the Duck. Look, yes, in the Howard the Duck scene, look at the cocoon in the Howard the Duck scene. That's what I'm talking about. I'll see if I can find it.
I'm looking it up right now.
Howard the Duck, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yes. Yeah, so in that scene where they show all that shit, the cocoon that you saw when you went into the collector's thing originally, that's what he's sitting in right there.
Yep. I got the picture right here. I can pull it up. Yeah, I do remember this, and yeah, I do remember that cage.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's what that tease was originally supposed to be.
Interesting.
And they kind of delayed that a little bit.
Yeah, and then turned it into something else, and then made him a special needs kid. So.
Adam Warlock could have been so fucking cool.
Oh yeah, dude. I was actually really excited to see him pop up, and nope. Yeah, he was just mentally handicapped, and now he's a fucking guardian of the galaxy, I guess. I'm like, oh, that's cool, I guess. Whatever.
We know we're never gonna see any of that shit. Like, God.
No. Never.
No. Maximus for $1.99. Are you retarded? Thank you. Bigger problem with Wonderman is his brother is intrinsic to the story. Grim Reaper is an associate of hate monger. Look it up, says Dave Nunn. Maximus is Ryan. I'm coming for your hair. Thank you. Paper Liger for 10. Dragon Age Origin struggles to run on newer PCs without crashing constantly. So I'm not too broken up about Veilguard. KOTOR remains number 1. Knights of the Republic is, like, to me, obviously the best thing Bioware was ever involved with ever.
Yeah,
but I'm a little bit partial as well.
Yeah.
Just a little bit partial to that. We might as well talk about all this shit. Mike, over the past couple of days, we've been inundated with cringe dialogue and clips and things like this from Dragon Age the Veilguard that essentially is showing that everybody that was worried about this in the beginning, with all those massive wave of dislikes on the YouTube trailer, all of the warning signs that were out there, the game director talking about how the game itself is just inherently queer. Everyone was right to be very, very worried because the red flags were there, the warning signs were there. And now that we're 1 day away from its release, Dragon Age the Veilguard is getting bashed by anyone who's kind of seen as an impartial reviewer. Not the IGNs of the world, not some of the people who will never say a bad thing to maintain their access, but for a lot of people who people trust to get their gaming opinions from. Maybe they're not bashing it as much as maybe we would, but they're just coming right out and saying that the game is not good and it feels clunky and weird in this fantasy world. Dragon Age the Veilguard described as a piece of garbage and the tombstone of Bioware. Well, apparently, Bioware is worried enough. CEOs out there making comments like, hey, guys, this is a return to form. We really see breakout potential with Dragon Age the Veilguard, we promise. While other people that are involved at Bioware are doing their best to distance themselves from this project. Mass Effect 5 game director, which I don't know how excited people are for Mass Effect 5, appears to already be doing damage control after Dragon Age the Veilguard backlash, says game will keep photorealistic art style. And he also said a few other things. This is on Twitter. He put this out publicly, by the way.
That's
Lots
wild.
of people ask me about Mass Effect now that Veilguard reviews are out and October 31st is close. Both are from the studio, but Mass Effect is Mass Effect. How do you bring a sci-fi RPG to life is different than other genres or IPs and has to have different kinds of love. Regarding tone questions, Mass Effect will remain the mature tone of the original trilogy. This is all I'm going to say for now. So you have people that are involved with other games in development at BioWare that are doing their best to let everybody know, hey, by the way, our shit's not going to be like this. We're not going to do this. Don't associate Dragon Age the Veilguard and its upcoming failure with any games that we have coming out. Like, that is a clear indicator that they know this is going to be a disaster. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, what's funny about that and this is a thing that that they're not going to talk about and mention, is so in the development of Dragon Age, originally Dragon Age Veilguard was called Dragon Age Dreadwolf, and they had been working on it for years, and then they pivoted into Veilguard. We don't know exactly what happened there. I don't know where that pivot started to happen. I don't know why they changed it, but they fundamentally changed whatever storyline they were going to work with into whatever Veilguard is now. And they were so behind on production that they actually asked for help. And they sent developers from the Mass Effect game that pulled off of the Mass Effect game to jump onto Veilguard to help. And actually, that's why a lot of people are saying that the combat system and some of the things that are being complained about are the way that they are. It's because somebody from Mass Effect went, well, this is how we do it here. And so if we're helping with your development of the game, here's how you could streamline some of this stuff. And so there's a lot of similarities to how the combat system in a Mass Effect game would work. There's a lot of similarities to the simplicity of Mass Effect in an RPG setting. And they are very different games, which he's completely right. But the fact is, if there is any similarities to how Dragon Age is being run, and put together, like, I don't know how they're going to say that Mass Effect isn't going to have the same problems. We've already seen Mass Effect Andromeda and what a nightmare that was. And I'm sure they want to distance themselves from that. But right now, BioWare hasn't stacked up any goodwill towards players. This was their chance to say, guys, we know you love these franchises and we know this is what you care about. But the fact is, like, there's crossover now between those two. And I think they're intrinsically locked into each other in a way that they're not going to be able to separate. So
I think one of the things he's pushing back on most is probably because what we've seen, especially a lot of the clips, a lot of it's about the dialogue and the interactions between the characters, seeming very kind of modern day bullshit. I think that's probably what he's putting out there the most. He even would follow up, right? I mean, Mass Effect has always had its fair share of humor and silliness. Serious characters put in some humorous situations Michael Gamble would kind of follow up with. And also about the art style. This is, the Veilguard is going to be a massive disaster for BioWare. We see this over and over again. When you have trailers that come out and get bombed, get destroyed, get hammered in a fairly organic way, right? People aren't going to tell people, go dislike this, go downvote this. The vast majority of motherfuckers that look at a YouTube video don't even know how many dislikes there are. You need like a special thing for that. So it's not like a big pile on in a lot of ways. It's because people don't like what they're seeing. The core fan base that it's supposed to be targeted towards, they don't like what they're seeing. And instead of listening to the fans, they double down. You put people in charge of the property that only care about pushing their strange, weird agenda, like the game director for Dragon Age, the Veilguard. And this is what you end up with, something that massively disappoints. I mean, we saw it with Concord. We're going to talk about that a little bit later today. We saw it with Star Wars Outlaws. We've seen it in the before, right? Leading up to this point with Dragon Age, the Veilguard. We've seen it with Assassin's Creed Shadows, which they decided to delay. Maybe rightfully so. Maybe they should just cancel that fucking game overall. But yeah, whenever these things happen, you can tell when one of these projects is doomed for failure. And it seems right now like Dragon Age, the Veilguard is.
Yeah. 100%. And the thing about video games is you can't just go reshoot some of them because you got negative feedback. Like, it is what it is. There's maybe minor tweaks and changes. Maybe a day one patch drops that fix some of the performance issues that we've been hearing about. But there's no changing the story. The story is going to be what it is, no matter what. And everything that we've seen from those clips, that's not changing. Them using modern day language, the Quinari bitch walking around talking about how she's non-binary and telling her parents about it, and then your character being able to choose whether or not they're embracing their transness, all this stuff, that shit's in the game forever. That's not going away. Yeah, the writings have been on the wall for a while for Dragon Age Veilguard. A lot of hardcore fans are already turned off when they went away from Dreadwolf. They kind of had a slam dunk on their hands, and yeah, it's over now.
And honestly, people have been kind of clamoring for Dragon Age to return to form ever since they released the second one. True. You know what I mean? In general.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
There's
absolutely.
There's that as well.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, Bioware's been in trouble for a while. I keep talking about this, but they have not had a hit come out since technically Mass Effect 3, honestly, or Dragon Age Inquisition. I would say Dragon Age Inquisition wasn't as big of a hit as Mass Effect 3, but Dragon Age Inquisition was at least playable. Some people did like it. But after that, canceled game, Mass Effect Andromeda, Anthem completely crashed and burned, and then they had the Legendary Edition kind of give them a little bit of a boost, but that's a remake. That's not anything new. So Dragon Age Veilguard is kind of their only like new property right now that they have coming out, and I think it's going to flop really bad. I think they're really in trouble right now. So
not looking great. Not looking great for Dragon Age the Veilguard.
yeah.
We've got Dan Vask with a $50 Brazilian super chat. Says Drag Age. Yeah, basically Drag Age. You could just shorten it to that, I feel. That is a $10 super chat from Dan Vask for those of you doing the conversion in your head at home. But he gets a special red one because he's foreign. So thank you, Dan, for the super chat.
Shout out.
Mass Effect is not affiliated with Dragon Age the Veilguard. That's basically what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
Sinister Mustache from another MCU double cast, and I haven't heard anyone talk about. Ben Grimm was microchip in The Punisher. Since I have space. Are you retarded?
I didn't realize that was the same guy.
Well, the thing now is that they have brought everything under the MCU umbrella, like officially. Now you got a lot of fucking stuff like that could potentially have happened. And we had got to joke about a little bit in Deadpool and Wolverine with Chris Evans as Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
I loved that part because since the multiverse was like first started becoming a concept, I've been begging for them to have Chris Evans return as Johnny Storm in a way like that, where everyone thinks he's Captain America, but then he's actually Johnny's. I've been begging for that shit.
Yeah.
So I was glad we got it. I was glad we got it at least a little bit.
It was a great call. I was surprised because I really did think they were just trying to bring back Captain America. And I love that they totally didn't do that. Yeah, that was actually pretty great.
I liked Chris Evans as Johnny Storm. I thought he was a good Johnny Storm, and I liked him playing the character. And I kind of like him when he plays characters like that more than I like him when he's like the stoic Captain America character.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I got introduced to Chris Evans from Not Another Teen Movie.
Another teen movie, yeah, shit like that. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, he was great. Yeah.
I don't
know.
Space Digger pivot happened when the game director went trans. Yeah, they trans the game.
No.
It's basically what happened.
Fucking
Mandalore for 5. You guys see Park Place talking about how Kathleen Kennedy Wikipedia keeps getting restored to be positive about her. Hilarious stuff. I've not really seen that, but it's not a surprise. I also wouldn't be surprised if like several times a day people go into her Wikipedia and try to change it to be like she's the biggest failure in the history of Hollywood and shit like that. Wikipedia wars can be a little bit entertaining. Like Wikipedia is a completely and totally very like leftist dominated space. It just is. But I really like sports Wikipedias. So like when somebody beats another team, they'll change the guy's, role as like the owner of that team, shit like that, or dumb shit. That's fun. But no, I haven't seen specifically the Kathleen Kennedy one. Ministry of Wrongthink, Dragon AIDS, Fairhards, LGBTQ nary look like an old blind man with dementia. See Gary Beekler. Tried to recreate Dragon Age Inquisition from memory.
Damn.
And we should point out for people that like haven't played Dragon Age games, like they do have some sexuality choices and options and things like that are in game, like romance wise, and that's been a BioWare thing for quite some time. One of the first that I can remember to probably do that. Whether you're looking at Night Seal, even fucking Night Seal Republic and shit like that. It's very different and forced and kind of delusionally trying to push you down this path where you have to like accept, you have to accept this non-binary companion. It's like a fucking quest you go on and all the transgender stuff and the scars. It's next level with Dragon Age the Veilguard, and it's so modern day and it's so in your face that it's turning even people who probably lean pretty left, it's even turning people like that off just because it's so unrealistic.
Yeah, it just completely breaks immersion. And to be honest, and once again, I know it's not supposed to be tied together, but Mass Effect did the same thing with Mass Effect 3. They made a huge deal about inserting a gay character into the story. Like, hey, this pilot that you've never met before is now in it, and he's gay. And they make you talk to him on numerous occasions. And the thing is, you have to openly reject him and tell him to stop trying to have sex with you if you're a male character, because every time you say anything nice to him, he's like, oh my God, that's so great. That's so nice of you. You want to like do stuff? And you're like, no, please stop. Like, you have to actively turn him away, or else you will get locked into a romance without realizing that's what's happening in the game. Like, it was really weird. It was like one of the only times I was like, why are they trying to make this happen so hard? But it's, you know, if your goal is to push a narrative, then you have to make everybody see it. So
that's why you should just be mean to every character you don't want to have sex with.
Yeah.
That's typically my policy in games and in life. Stephen Brown, please support Achromatic Chronicles Green. Let's get Jay over a 1,000 books sold. Daughter's Revenge 2025 Vindicta. Hail the Tattoo Crew. God bless. Yeah, I know Jay's book was pretty close to 1,000 books sold, so go check out Achromatic Chronicles Green. I believe it's through the Rip Ascend website, so I'm sure you go to Jay's Twitter and there'll be links all over for it. Maybe one of the mods can help you guys out there. Thank you, Steven. Tomac for 20. For Dragon Age fans, I might recommend Dragon's Crown. It's way less gay and has more cake.
There it is.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Stephen De Leon for 2. Mike, tell Ryan about Savvy's conspiracy web autism.
Yeah, I know we're going to get into that when we start talking about this whole thing with Concord being shut down. So, yeah, I think we can I'll kind of inform you on what Savvy discovered on that. So, yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of a big deal. Yeah.
You say it's kind of or not really?
No, it's kind of a big deal. Yeah. She cooked, but she went like weaponized autism with it. So, yeah, I'll show you what it looks like. I'll get the stuff pulled up for it. So,
okay. General Duality for $1. Jeremy must have partied too hard at the gay club last night, so he had to call the all-star team for daily.
Yeah.
Probably what happens. Mm-hmm. Nader's Bricks for 2. G&G has its ducks lined in a row. Mike has dogs lined in a row.
That's wild.
Is that like a Michael Vick joke or?
Yeah. Well, I've been playing a lot of games recently that end up having dogs in them, and we're not going to get into why I had to kill a dog 4 times in Metal Gear Solid 4 over multiple saves, but that did happen. And now I'm playing Resident Evil. You fucking walk right into a kennel full of zombie dogs, and I had to put them all down, and it's not looking good for me right now. So
wait, which Metal Gear Solid were you playing?
3.
Oh,
my chat told me that if you killed one of the guard dogs, you could get dog meat from it, like as rations. Because you can kill different animals in the game, get different rations and try them. And they're like, dog meat's like the best ration in the game. I don't know why I let them gaslight me into believing this was a thing. So I shot this dog, and then I killed it. I'm not going to explain how I killed it, but I killed it. And it didn't drop any resources, and it didn't drop any rations. And then I screwed up, and I accidentally had to reload my save, and it started me right at this fucking dog, and I had to shoot it again because I didn't want there to be a time paradox where this dog lived in one world and didn't live in another timeline, and it was a whole thing.
It is pretty fucked up because a lot of games like Red Dead, right? Like Red Dead Redemption, you can kill almost any animal, skin it. I don't think you can skin the dogs.
You
I don't think you can collect it from the dogs because they're like, no, these are too close to people. You can't do that. You can do anything else. You can fucking lasso a woman. You can bring her out by the gators. You can just beat the shit out of it. You can do almost anything in the game, but you can't skin a dog. You can kill it. Just leave it sitting there, but you can't skin it. That would be too much.
That would be too much, man. Yeah. Wild, dude.
He's killing the dogs.
Yep.
He's killing the cats.
Yep. It's not good.
Ministry of Wrong thing. That was supposed to say fail hard, ironically. Yeah, what did you actually say in it? Oh, fair hard. Oh yeah, Dragon Aid's fair hards. That is what you said.
Yeah.
I don't know if I corrected it or just read it as written. I'm not quite sure. I never fucking know. Yeah, you can't skin horses. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
Should be able to have horse meat and horse boots.
That would be cool. I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like what are those memes when PETA has those fucking signs and it's like, how, like, they're all animals. Where do you draw the line? Someone's like, right about here. Like, fucking right
Right
here.
outside the cat. Yeah, right
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
the cats and dogs. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, pigs, cows, chickens. Yeah, I'll fucking eat all that shit.
Yeah.
Gray Ghost for 10. Make sure to watch Mike play Resident Evil 2 remake on his channel. Also, make sure to talk smack about his lack of grift skills in chat.
Yeah. I made the mistake of telling chat not to send in money to get a sound alert to play, because I just explained that I had different tiers of sound alerts for different donation levels, and I said not to send it in just to find out what the sounds were, and they yelled at me, told me that I was a terrible grifter, and then explained that I was actually trying to use reverse psychology, so now I'm some kind of fucking mastermind that manipulates my chat into sending money to me when I ask them not to. It's a weird paradox to live in, you know?
It is strange.
Yeah.
You know what's not strange or shouldn't be strange? When a game loses over $400 million for a studio and for a company, that they decide, you know what, everybody that's working there, get the fuck out. And that's exactly what just happened with Sony and the failure of Concord. We watched as Concord, when they put out their first trailer, that got absolutely destroyed by the fans. As we said, this is a pretty good indicator that people aren't receiving your game very well when you have something like this. The gameplay trailer with a 10-to-1 dislike to like ratio. Not good news for you initially when it comes to Concord. And obviously, as we knew, the more came out about this game when it was failing on Steam, failing to actually chart anywhere on the PlayStation charts. It was obvious that this thing was a failure. And a lot of people in the media didn't want to accept it. They said, hey, give this game a chance. It's worth it. We promise. A hero shooter released in 2024 that's not free to play. And it was so focused on DEI and character pronouns that every single playable character looked retarded. And that they spent over $400 million on this thing. And embarrassingly, Sony, like a week after its release, said, this isn't working. We're shutting this shit down. We're going to refund everybody. Sorry about how embarrassing this was. And 2 weeks after it was released, Concord was taken down. It was done. And now, so is the fucking studio. Sony and PlayStation shut down Concord developer Firewalk Studios. Sony Interactive Entertainment and PlayStation Studios head Herman Holst announced that it has shut down Concord developer Firewalk Studios about a year after it was purchased from Probably Monsters. And keep in mind, this game cost about $400 million to make. That doesn't include however much Sony paid to buy this studio. I don't know what that number is, but put that on top of whatever money was lost on the game in general. In a post to Sony Interactive Entertainment website, Holst wrote, as part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen SIE studio businesses, we've made a difficult decision relating to two of our studios, Neon Koi and Firewalk Studios. Now, from what I can tell, Neon Koi is like a mobile game developer. I really don't know how much that they've done. But Firewalk Studios is the one that garnered the most attention because of the massive failure of Concord. And they said, thank you to Firewalk Studios for your expertise, your support, your craftsmanship, all these things. Fuck you. I wouldn't say thank you to Firewalk Studios. They lost you $400 million. I just say, hey, get out. You're done. We're closing down this shithole.
Yep. 100%, man. Well, we kind of already predicted this. You know, they in their statement, obviously, they try to say, oh, there was so much interest in this game. But even when the beta came out, I think their max concurrent players was like 2,300 or something like that. They never, ever had that much interest in the game. Even when people were playing it, some people said it was fine. Some people said it was kind of fun. But most people said it wasn't anything new. It wasn't anything interesting. Nothing about this game screamed that it was going to be a massive hit. And the other side of this too is that Neon Koi, and this is shout out to Madam Savvy, they have done nothing. They've developed 0 games. There was no announcements from them about any game that they've developed. All that you can find about this studio, they rebranded from a different studio name. And the biggest thing you can find from them is social media posts about how excited they were to work on things and work with Sony, and how awesome it was to eat donuts at their office, and how cool it was they all got free PS5s because they were working with Sony, but they have no game development whatsoever.
They were advertised as a mobile game company, right? Like
I believe so. But
I
even
wonder
with
if
that,
that was an attempt from Sony, because like looking across the grand scheme, there's a lot of fucking money to be had in mobile games, right?
yes.
A fuck ton of money to be had in mobile games. I don't know how involved Sony's ever been in a ton of like standalone mobile games that aren't like something else that's attached to another one of their projects. So I wonder if they were trying to kind of get more into that, because it can be extremely lucrative.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a smart call, but when you hire people that don't know what they're doing or don't know how to do their jobs, it's not going to go anywhere. And apparently that was one of the things with Neon Koi. They had developed absolutely nothing, so they had nothing to show for whatever X amount of dollars that Sony had thrown at them to be a studio that they bought out. So, yeah.
Yeah, and here's Firewalk Studios. Firewalk is signing off one last time. We began with the idea of bringing joy of multiplayer to a larger audience. Along the way, we assembled an incredible team who were able to navigate growing a new startup into a team during the global pandemic. Firewalk was founded in 2018. It was very small for its first couple years, only entering full production in 2022. Look at all these things. All their accomplishments. All their fucking accomplishments that don't mean shit. This is the reality. Although some of these and other aspects of the IP didn't land as we hoped, the idea of putting new things in the world is critical to pushing the medium forward.
Yep.
Go fuck yourself. You made a dog shit game. It failed. You deserve to get shut down. Like, bottom line, that's it. It's done. I'm sure they're going to try to do what they can to, if there is anybody that they feel is worthwhile, on that team that might be skilled in some way, they might find their way to another like Sony studio or something. But hopefully none of the people that were involved with the concept of Concord and the decisions that they made along the way.
Well, funny enough, and this is where we were going to get into this a little bit. I'm not gonna deep dive as much because we talked about it on Tuesday night's main event. You can look at what Savvy talked about, but I was going to show you this. This is a conspiracy web that was formed by none other than Madam Savvy herself. This right here is a web of the different developers and names attached to not only Firewalk Studios, but also Neon Koi, and how a lot of these people have all worked with each other before on different projects. They've been on different podcasts together. They've been on different things. They've worked with, some of them have been involved directly with Sweet Baby Inc. or other consulting firms. And all of these guys have jumped around from games to podcasts to working with these consulting firms. One of the things that she pointed out and found that some of these guys have worked directly with these consulting firms that don't go and involve themselves in games, but actually work to install executives that have the correct ideologies and the correct attitudes into different studio spaces, into different companies, so that when they are bought out by these studios, and that's what they groom these studios to do, they groom these companies to do, is to be bought out by studios directly so that they can involve themselves in larger IPs that they're installing themselves into this. One of the other things she found is that some of these people, when they're in the middle of these game developments, like Concord, are looking up on Google how to do some very basic things, like how to make stairs in a video game. Some of them are saying like, wow, I didn't know anything about game development, and now I'm learning about it. So these people, a lot of these people that were involved in this don't even know how to do the basic parts of their job, let alone how to actually make a first-person shooter that's going to be innovative. But all of this stuff right here and all of these lines are all connected to different people that all worked for Firewalk Studios or Neon Koi and are now going to be dispersed. And that's what Savvy was trying to say. And that was a great point that you brought up. All these people are going to just disperse into other companies. They don't go away. They don't get fired and blacklisted from the company. They're just going to get sent to other companies to work for other people because that's exactly what they do. And they just keep getting recycled over and over and over again into other companies. And we've seen other people like that, like what's her name? Mags, who shows up in like multiple video games, tried to rewrite the Knights of the Old Republic game. She's like, I'm involved in the remake. And everybody's like, why? And she's like, I'm affecting the story for modern audiences. Then she got fired. And then look what happened. That game's now dead on arrival. That's not getting made. So yeah, it was kind of a whole big thing that Savvy started deep diving into.
Yeah, she has way too much time on her hands and should maybe be a better wife and sandwich maker. But yeah, like the truth is that these people all fucking know each other, right? Like across the industry. And when they get together at game conference, like game development conference and stuff like that, they all fucking meet, they all fucking talk. A lot of them know each other. That whiteboard reminds me of the rewriting Ripley thing that did like Steve Bannon at the top and all these connections to other political YouTubers and ended with like connections to us. Like a world, they all know each other. That's kind of what that reminded me of over for a second. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be some of those people that get hired into other Sony studios. There's other people that probably aren't, and they're probably going to go work for a different fucking company. But yeah, I not too many of them are going to be out on their ass and dead for sure.
No, not at all. Yeah, but I personally think that if you worked on that game, you shouldn't be allowed to work on other video games. You should go find a different industry to work in.
It depends what your role was.
Yeah.
That's what I think. 100% it depends what your role was. If you're just like a grunt doing like building environments and shit like that, and you're getting handed tasks to do and you do it, like, okay. Do you know what I mean? Not every single in the same way that some people that are working on, just these absolute dog shit projects like The Acolyte, right? Some people are just key grips there. Some people are just like, you know what I mean? Some people are just doing normal jobs. They don't have any control over the story, whatever. It's a fucking job. So I would say it depends on what people's roles were when it comes to stuff like that. That's what I would say.
Yeah, that's fair.
But who knows?
You're being a lot nicer than I am. So
what?
Yeah, I said you're being a lot nicer than I am. I would just be like, no, we're making an example of everybody. All the heads are rolling. Maybe you shouldn't work for these people. If you should question whether or not you should work with this company before you jump on board. But
contracts, depends.
Yeah.
Dogs against Mike for 199. No justice, no peace. # cancel Mike.
Bro, that profile picture is wild. Wow.
It's a Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Fucking crazy, bro.
Tobias, I did a playthrough of Emmy as Fem Sheep. Never had that issue with the lesbian. Mass Effect is Fem Sheep. Jesus Christ. I didn't know what Emmy meant at first. I did my because you're a fucking furry. That's why I thought you were
That's why you did. Sheep. Yeah.
I did my playthrough of Mass Effect as Fem Shep. Never had that issue with the lesbian gal. She wasn't forced too much. Few great lines. Saves everyone with a toothbrush. Wonder why the gay guy was worse.
Yeah, but because she was in the second game and they kind of vaguely hint at it. But that's the thing too. Lesbians are an easy sell to audiences. Gay men are not. So unless you're savvy.
Rudy for $5. Epic Mike. Are you trying to work for the ATF killing dogs like that?
I could neither confirm nor deny my involvement with any government organization. So
NDI for 2. Looking at 2024, how do you feel about GTA 6 now? Gay. For GTA 6, I'll wait till we see more of the trailers and stuff like that and hear from people and their feedback in the same way I do about every game. It's been a long ass time since GTA 5, but I love that game. I love GTA 5.
Oh yeah, GTA 5 is great, man. I like that GTA 6 is going to be in Florida. That's what I'm looking forward to, is Florida man memes. So
yeah, I mean, just like anything in modern day, everyone's going to be on the lookout for everything.
Yeah, that's true.
So Ryan Suspect Quaff for 199. Ryan looks like something Firewalk forgot to draw because I'm white.
Yeah.
Hayden for $20 in the letter. They say they're going to try to find new jobs for some of the people from Firewalk and Neon Koi. People to find jobs for are higher ups like Professor. They're going to infect more studios. Yeah, it certainly could be the case.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me. But thank you for the $20, Hayden. Let's see. Make sure I'm caught up on the Rumble side as well. We are caught up on the Rumble side, which means with an hour into the stream, we're all caught up, Mike. How do you like that?
Look at that.
I know you're not particularly used to being prompt or on time or, things like that, but I like to run a tight ship here.
No, I respect it. Listen, man, that's how it's supposed to be done. Yesterday it went day before yesterday it went almost 2 hours. And we were only supposed to be an hour-long show, and I was like, yeah, just an hour. I'll be done, clip along at a good pace, and we're out of here. 2 hours later, Jeremy's still sitting there, so I'm cool with it.
Yeah, we don't do that shit. We don't do that shit when I'm running things because I got things to do. I don't just stream like Jeremy. Jeremy just has to make sure he's done streaming so he can get ready for his next stream.
Yeah.
But that's all good. Jeremy's
or sign you up for furry cons that you didn't know you were going to. So
yeah, we'll see what happens then. I'm gonna I've got all the passwords, so maybe I'll just fucking take the whole thing, and Jeremy might have an accident. We don't know, right? We don't know what'll happen.
Yeah.
But what do you got going on, Mike?
Yeah, you can check my channel out. I'll be going live tonight playing more Resident Evil 2. I'm going through Claire's story right now. I fucking love Resident Evil 2 already. I've had such a good time with this game. So I'm playing through that, finishing that up, and then I got shit going on Thursday. I'm doing an Epic Verse stream Thursday, so I'll probably wear my Halloween costume tonight as well, just to grift things up a little bit. So yeah, you go check me out over there. I'll be wearing a Snorlax costume.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Because he's your favorite Pokemon, obviously.
No, it's because I'm fat as fuck. That's why.
Well, yeah. That too. Double entendre.
Yes.
Double Hawk for
Players.
2. Don't ask about the Meekret police. I won't.
Yeah, please don't. I don't know what it is either. So
I won't say a damn thing. All right, guys. That is it for us. We'll be back is Halloween's tomorrow, yeah?
Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Well, my days are off because I traveled on a fucking Monday. So
Ooh.
Monday felt like Sunday, and it's a whole fucking mess. But yeah, Halloween tomorrow. That'll be good. Thanks for hanging out, guys. We'll talk to you later. Peace.